Welcome back, Irish fans, and well, let's sweep this under the rug and move on. Northwestern is coming to town Saturday for one of the last two home games this season, and of course at 3-6, the Wildcats are coming off a thrilling 10-9 loss against Michigan. They rallied and scored it. Instead of tying it, they went for the win, and the two-point conversion failed as time expired. You heard Coach Kelly talk about Pat Fitzgerald. He has been the head coach in Evanston since 2006. At 2-4, they are fifth in the West Division of the conference with wins over Penn State in Wisconsin. And at this time, let's jump right into the stats. First, for the offense for both teams, there you get a good look at it, 18 points per game. They've had their struggles this year. When you look at the rushing and passing, only 109 rush yards per game, 212 pass yards per game, 19 offensive touchdowns, 40% on third down, 80% conversion rate in the red zone. Redshirt senior and team captain Trevor Simon is the quarterback, 5 touchdowns, 204 pass yards per game. Freshman Justin Jackson leads the way on the ground. He has 5 rushing touchdowns. And then senior Kyle Prater, you heard Coach Kelly talk about him as well. He's a big guy, 6'5", 225 pounds. He has a touchdown this season as well. And of course for the Irish, Will Fuller, he's your leading receiver there with 10 touchdowns, 77 reception yards a game, 13 yards per catch. He's closing in on 700. It's still crazy how he's not on the Biletnikoff Award. And yeah, there's a good look at the offensive stats for each team. Moving on to the defensive breakdown for each squad, very similar. And Coach Kelly, I think, was right on when he said they really don't allow the big play. They'll let you get the underneath, dink and dunk stuff all kind of day. 14 red zone touchdowns. Senior linebacker Chichi Arguzio is the team's leading tackler. He flies all over the place.
Impressive.
Yeah, he's a big guy. 80 tackles this season, and yeah, he's a guy whose name will be said a lot. And of course, let's jump right into the series history. These teams kind of know each other a little bit with the proximity. They first met in 1889. Notre Dame leads the all-time series 37-8-2. They last met in 1995. Northwestern won that game 17-15. Was really opened the season for the Wildcats. They had a spectacular year that year. They won the Big Ten, ended up losing in the Rose Bowl, and of course they played 19 straight years from 1929 to 1948. The interesting thing here is that Northwestern is actually Notre Dame's second oldest foe. They started playing in 1889, as I mentioned, and of course Michigan, the oldest, at 1887. So we're going to keep this simple. Players to watch, keys to the game. Players to watch, we've talked about them. Coach Kelly talked about them. Offensive line, they've got to play better.
And you know, and again, and Coach Kelly kind of alluded to this also. It's not just, you know, the offensive line is the problem. I mean, we became one-dimensional in this game. We need to establish a running game with that offensive line, and I'd like to see see them come out with the level of tenacity and a desire to push the tempo up front and say let's dominate. You're playing a team that's not having a great year. We need to dominate up front, and I think that's where it starts with the offensive line and their ability to come off the ball and us get the ball moving on the ground. 7
sacks, 41 rushing yards. Do they come off, maybe you said differently, maybe a little ticked off? Does this
You would hope so. You would hope so. I mean, we kind of talked about some of the technique issues that took place, and just understanding the fundamentals of the game, getting back to the roots of why they're playing that position. And I think Harry Hiestand is going to make an emphasis of we need to dominate the line of scrimmage, understand what we're to do, go out and play our game. We can't, say, okay, we're going to do X, Y, and Z based on what Northwestern does. We need to go out and play our game. We need to establish the line of scrimmage from the word go, whether it's run or pass. It all starts with the offensive line.
So is that more on Coach Hiestand, you think? Or is it on Everett Golson to go the guys and say, I need you? Or is it on Nick Martin?
It's on the offensive line. I mean, they have to take some pride in themselves and say, hey, let's look at ourselves and say, our quarterback took hey, we took the blame, but now it's time for us to say, hey, we have a role in this too, and just a level of pride that you need to have at the offensive line position and see if we can get this thing moving.
And your keys to the game, pretty simple as well. Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. control the line of scrimmage. It's interesting. In the last 6 games, Golson has 17 turnovers. How does he improve on this? We heard Coach Kelly talk on him and say, you know, they were his fault, but the blame's not all on him. How does he fix it? And are we worried about his confidence? Of course, Northwestern interested coming into this game with a +5 turnover margin.
Well, you think about it with the turnovers, and you know that's something Everett has to take upon himself. And as I said before, I mean the interceptions, you know, balls just get tipped. I don't know how much you can place the blame on Everett with the interceptions. The fumbles, yes. Even though he's getting pressure, the fumbles are his fault because again, when you feel that pressure, tuck the ball. Again, live to fight another day. Hey, right here, and he sees the guy going to get his hands on him, tuck the ball. Sometimes it's okay to take the sack. You don't have to make the big play every time. If you don't see it coming, he sees it right there, right here. Right here, he needs to get that ball tucked, not spinning out with the ball out. Tuck it, spin, but tuck the ball. He had that, and that's on Ghost. The pressure, if he gets a sack, that's on the offensive line. But in terms of the actual turnover, that's on Everett. And on the play before, right here, you come in here, he sees it, he spins out here, tuck the ball. Right here, he has to tuck the ball. When you feel pressure, get the ball tucked. You know you have an issue with the ball being out. That's where you got to take it upon yourself. Hey, tuck the ball, live to fight another day.
Of course, and we saw it there at the end of the segment. Before the press conference, the last interception he threw there, going into the end zone, you just got to take the sack. Tuck it and eat it. Of course, remember, Irish fans, there's a ton of great content on Watchin' D right now and a whole slate of live programming coming up. Brian Kelly Radio Show is live on Thursday at O'Rourke's. Of course, Mike Bray might be starting here soon, and followed by the Thursday Night Classic. 2000 Purdue, Drew Brees chokes 31-30 Irish. If only he could have done that in the 2009 Super Bowl. What do you remember about 2000 Purdue?
I remember they had just a heck of a passing game. I mean, this guy, he lights it up, and he's lighting it up in the NFL. And his tenacity and the physicality, but just the toughness of our defense. I mean, you knew they were going to, air it out. And we got after him. We got after him, and it was a tight game. But that was one of those games where you're like, man, this is going to be a barn burner. And it was an exciting game, and I really enjoyed watching it. In particular, how our defense came back and got after a heck of a quarterback and Hall of Fame quarterback.
Tune in to that one, 8 o'clock on Thursday, and join in on the conversation on social media. That'll do it for us with Reggie Brooks in his tie. Let me know the tie next time, man.
That was on me, Ryan. I got you next time.
I'm Ryan Camden. Go Irish. Beat Wildcats.